I just reviewed this new iBuyPower pre-built featuring AMD's latest RX 9070 XT over on my Elevated Systems channel, but that was a Windows-focused deep dive. Today, we're booting into Arch Linux with kernel 6.14 and Mesa 25 to see how well AMD's newest GPU plays with open source drivers. Will it run? Are there any bugs? And how does performance stack up against Windows in real-world gaming? Let's find out. Hey guys, I'm CJ. Welcome to Lifting Linux, your source for open source. In this video, we're keeping it simple and just checking out some Linux gaming performance. I'll quickly take you through the specs of this pre-built PC, both as it was configured by iBuyPower and how I've set it up on the software side. Then we'll jump into some AAA gaming and see if there are any lingering issues or bugs with the RX 9070 XT on Linux and how the GPU's Linux performance stacks up against Windows gaming. So the hardware for today's testing is this iBuyPower pre-built gaming PC. As configured, it's running the Ryzen 7 9800X 3D, which iBuyPower unfortunately paired with 32 gigabytes of DDR5 5200 MTS memory. It also includes a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD, an MSI B650 VC Wi-Fi motherboard, and 850 watt power supply. The real standout here is the XFX Swift RX 9070 XT graphics card. Now, like I said, I already did a full review of this system on Elevated Systems, so if you want all the juicy details, the good, the bad, about the case, the build quality, or whether or not I got ripped off, you can check that out there. The big difference for this video is that I've wiped the Windows 11 install and replaced it with a fresh Arch Linux setup running KDE Plasma Desktop, and as of April 7th when I ran the test, Arch was already up to date with Mesa 25 and the latest Linux 6.14.1 kernel. So with an updated Arch install, without touching any firmware patches or proprietary drivers, we've got all the newest open source goodness needed to push the RX 9070 XT just 3 weeks post-launch. For the gaming setup, I'm only testing Steam titles. I only use Steam for PC gaming at this point. That's obviously a personal choice, but honestly, it just simplifies things. I also installed and used the latest GE Proton 9-27 as the compatibility layer for all the games and used Mango HUD to capture the FPS data. So without further ado, let's jump in. The 10 titles I tested were Baldur's Gate 3, Black Myth Wukong, Counter-Strike 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, Monster Hunter Wilds, Starfield, and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. That's 9. I also attempted to test Delta Force, but unfortunately, while the anti-cheat it uses should be compatible with Linux, the game can't get past the launcher, so let's just see how the rest did.
No time to waste.
Do you have someone waiting for you in Baldur's Gate, Astarion? A sweetheart, perhaps?
Not one in particular. The city is a veritable feast of sweethearts.
Dead goblins.
Didn't say you did.
Boy, tell me you ain't killing uniform comeback!
Watch it.
Mission at 30 minutes remaining.
Found something!
Whoever put me out last time. Look out below!
Still need you.
And keep your tentacles off the armor, fellas.
Stopped them.
Whoa, those are
Rest
some
easy
angry
now, my gelatinous friend.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
Oh, that is my scene, man. There goes one of them.
There's gonna be a fight.
I still need you.
Rockets, fire! Punisher's turret is firing!
Magic gods. Any word from Brother Darius or the commander? Nothing. It is left to us to share the glory now, Kelstros.
Hold on, brothers. Spores!
Here's a summary of the results. As you can see in titles like Black Myth Wukong, Monster Hunter Wild, Starfield, and Marvel Rivals, the Linux averages were either on par with Windows 11 or just about 2% lower, which is pretty typical for the performance overhead introduced by the Proton compatibility layer in these early days. There were a couple of titles where Windows pulled ahead by more noticeable margins, a 7% lead in Cyberpunk 2077 and 11% in Baldur's Gate 3. That could be due to a mix of factors, shader compilation differences, or simply driver level optimizations that are still maturing on the Linux side. However, those dips were more than offset by Linux gains elsewhere. Helldivers 2 came in 17% faster, Space Marine 2 saw a 23% boost, and Counter-Strike 2 performed a full 30% better on Arch. That kind of uplift is often tied to better CPU scheduling under Linux, faster IO handling, or even the way Vulkan wrapped games are implemented. So overall, the RX 9070 XT actually delivered on average a 4% lead on Linux versus Windows 11 across all the titles tested. And for an AMD GPU, that's a little better than is normal for this early post-release, so good job to the Kernel and Mesa teams. So on the positive side, if you're thinking about upgrading your Linux gaming rig with an RX 9070 XT, I don't foresee any performance issues. The open source drivers are already in great shape, and as you saw from the gameplay, the Guard delivers serious power on Linux. Of course, there's still the current problem of availability, which, I mean, let's be honest, it sucks for most of the world right now. I had to buy an entire pre-built just to get my hands on one, but hopefully as stock improves, and more importantly, as the rest of the RDNA 4 lineup rolls out, the 9060s, 9050s, and maybe even that rumored 9080 XT, we'll have day one out of the box support for the AMD GPUs on Linux, and by the time these cards are widely available, it's likely we'll be seeing the usual 6 to 10% performance uplift over Windows thanks to ongoing driver and kernel improvements. For those of you considering a switch from Windows to Linux gaming, this is a solid moment. You don't have to worry about leaving performance on the table, at least not with AMD hardware, but while the grass is definitely greener on this side of the Linux privacy fence, it's not without its dry spots. One of the biggest is developer anti-cheat support. Many multiplayer titles still rely on systems that either don't support Linux or only partially work through Proton, so you'll need to do your due diligence and make sure the games you care about are fully supported. Bottom line, the RX 9070 XT is already a strong performer on Linux, and if the rest of RDNA 4 follow suit, we're in for a great generation of open source friendly GPUs. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more real-world Linux performance testing and deep dives like this, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.